Galileo Galilei, 15 February 1564, 8 January 1642. He was an Italian astronomer, physicist, and engineer, who sometimes described as a polymath, from Pisa. Galileo has been called the father of observational astronomy, the father of modern physics, and the father of the scientific method. Galileo studied speed, velocity, gravity like freefall, the principle of relativity, inertia, projectile motion, and also worked in applied science and technology describing pendulums, hydrostatic balances. He invented the thermometer and various military compasses, and he was the first in using the telescope for scientific observations, because we know that the telescope in the beginning was used only for navigation. He was the first of pointing up his telescope to the sky. He was the first who understood that planets are worlds of its own, not bright stars. He said the moon is not smooth, but full of mountains and craters, and he studied the phases of Venus, which was the decisive proof of the heliocentric model. Other observations are the satellites of Jupiter and Saturn's ring. He approved the Copernican heliocentric model, which is Earth rotating round the Sun, which was met with opposition within the Catholic Church, and this matter was investigated by the Roman Inquisition in 1615. They concluded that the heliocentric model is contradicting the Holy Scripture. Then he was tried by the Inquisition because of heresy and forced to recant and spent the rest of his life under house arrest. Eppur si muove, which means yet it moves, was his famous quotation he said mentioning the earth rotating round the sun, not the vice versa, and he said the sun remained static. But you might wonder why this story is still touching even today, because if we compare his findings in the cosmos and astronomy to what other Italian explorers, like Christopher Columbus, who discovered after crossing the Atlantic Ocean by accident new land, the Central and South Americas, that was in 1492, and exploration at that time was so fruitful, unlike Galileo who just found only terrible things in the cosmos. Or Captain James Cook, 1768–1779, who made his famous 3 voyages across the Pacific Ocean and discovered also other new continents, Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii, and Tahiti, etc. So why explorations of the planet always making new discoveries, unlike studying astronomy, which is leading to nothingness? No treasures, no life, no water. Even romantic science, like Carl Sagan, we see here on the picture Voyager twin spacecrafts, photographing nothing but the emptiness of space. The point in the arrow is the pale blue dot, our planet Earth in the cosmic envelope, as being described by Carl Sagan himself. There's been found no treasures, no life, no water, which means no rewards actually in the industry of space explorations. Astral observatories around the world, like Gran Telescopio Canarias in Canary Islands, Spain, and Keck Observatory in Hawaii, USA, and the Paranal Observatory in Chile is also very famous. You can even find applications on the internet mapping the sky, but those applications are inaccurate because they don't have the coordinates of the celestial sphere, which they call the right ascension and the declination, which they are equivalent to the latitude and the longitude of the planet Earth. The good news is that all planets has been probed, all planets including Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, as well as the dwarf planets like Pluto and Ceres. And I said earlier about Voyager twins being sent to interstellar space by Carl Sagan, all found nothing but vague and dust. Space exploration must be part of a governmental subsidy, and this governmental subsidy is already taxes paid by the people, and the people would like to pay these taxes, and with pleasure, because they love their country and their flag, and they trust, or at least they should trust, their elected government they voted for. Otherwise, they are paying taxes against the country constitution.